Hi, I'm Francis, the host of this show, Cooking with the Dog.
こんにちは。今日はチョココルネを作ります。たくさんのリクエストありがとうございました。
Let's make the bread dough. Dissolve the instant dry yeast in the lukewarm water and let it sit for 5 minutes. Combine the sugar, salt, non-fat dry milk powder and the bread flour in a bowl and stir together with a spatula. Add the dissolved yeast to the flour mixture. Combine the beaten egg and water. And gradually add it to the flour while mixing. Stir until the flour has absorbed the water evenly and the mixture is completely moistened. Set the dough blade in the food processor and clean the spatula with a bowl scraper. Place the dough in the food processor. Cover with a lid. And mix for about 30 seconds until the dough forms a ball. Turn off the processor. Cover your hands in flour and flatten the dough. Folding the butter into it. Cover and mix for about 15 seconds. Gather the small dough pieces together. Finally, mix for another 15 seconds. Remove the dough and shape it into a ball until the surface becomes smooth. Place it in a bowl and cover it with plastic wrap. Let it rise in a warm place for about 1 hour until the dough has doubled in size. Let's make the chocolate custard. Add the sugar to 2 egg yolks in a bowl and mix well with a balloon whisk. Dilute the mixture by adding a sprinkle of hot milk so that it will easily combine with the flour. Put the cake flour, cornstarch, and cocoa powder into a mesh strainer. Sieve the powders together and add them to the egg mixture in the bowl. When the powders are combined, gradually add the rest of the hot milk while mixing. Strain the egg mixture and pour it into a pot. Turn on the burner and stir continuously with the balloon whisk. Continue mixing vigorously while over the heat. When it has thickened as shown, quickly remove the pot from the burner. While it is still hot, add the butter and chocolate pieces and stir to combine well. Place the chocolate custard in a bowl of ice water. Cover the custard with a plastic wrap to prevent the surface from getting dry and wrinkled. Now the dough has doubled in size. Cover your finger in flour and poke it into the dough to make a small hole. If the hole disappears quickly, The dough needs to rise more. Place the dough on a pastry board dusted with bread flour. Flatten the dough with your hands and remove the gas inside. Measure the total weight of the dough. Divide the dough into 6 equal pieces with a scraper.
はかりを使って同じ重さになるように調節してください。
Shape the dough into balls by pinching the edges together at the bottoms. Rub the bottoms on your palm and make sure the edges are tightly pressed together. Line up all the dough balls on the pastry board dusted with flour. Cover with a lightly damped kitchen towel and let them rest for about 15 seconds. Let's shape the dough into cornet shapes. Coat each of the cream home molds with batter. After allowing the dough to rest, flip over each dough ball and flatten it with your hands to remove the gas inside. Roll the dough until it lengthens to over 1 foot, making one side thinner than the other. Starting from 1 inch below the tip of the home mold, twist the dough around the mold. Pinch the bottom end of the dough together to close it. With the closed side facing down, gently press the dough onto a baking sheet covered with a non-stick oven liner. Cover the baking sheet with a large plastic bag. Let it sit in a warm place until it rises by 50% in size. After the second rise, the dough will puff up on the baking sheet. With a pastry brush, gently coat the dough with a well-beaten egg for glazing. Preheat the conventional oven to 390 degrees Fahrenheit and bake the dough for about 10 to 12 minutes. Baking time and temperature depend on the type of oven you use in some degree, so be careful not to overbake the dough. When the bread is done, remove the baking sheet from the oven. Place the bread on a cooling rack and let it cool for 2 to 3 minutes. Remove the molds. Cool the cornet bread completely on the rack. Let's make the chocolate cornets. Remove the plastic wrap from the chilled chocolate custard. Lightly mix it to soften. Put the custard in a pastry bag. Insert the tip into the cornet hole and squeeze out the custard. Fill all the breads with the custard. Serve the chocolate cornet on a plate. If you knead the dough with your hands, please watch our video on how to make melon pan.
形がとっても可愛いでしょ？もちろん美味しいですよ。
Kneading time depends on the amount of flour and room temperature, so follow the directions on the manual of your food processor. Good luck in the kitchen! If you don't have cream home molds, you can make them with craft paper and aluminum foil. Mark a sheet of square craft paper with a diagonal line. Roll it up into a cone, covering the diagonal line with the edge by a 1/4 inch. Fold the bottom of the cone and staple the overlapping edge. Take the folded part out and cut it off with scissors. Wrap the paper cone with a sheet of square aluminum foil. Fold the bottom of the foil into the cone. Squeeze the foil into the overlapping part, and now the handmade home mold is ready to use. Thank you for watching.